Yes, welcome. There is something that, if you know this and you practice this, you simply win every time in every possible situation everywhere. Okay, what it is that you must apply wisdom practically. Be prudent all the time, a tiny bit, all the time as much as possible. Because what results thereby is that everything in your life as you go through life is being arranged systematically so that if we were to zoom out and look at it like a thread of time, linear, from A to Z and etc., everything is always being threaded in the right way so that it's sustainable in a way that leads to ongoing ideal circumstances. Okay, so what I'm talking about is living and operating with a certain amount of self-discipline and prudence and wisdom, right? You're operating wisely as a general rule. And what happens thereby is that because you always maintain a little bit of prudence, everything that you are sort of creating actually as you go is being created in a way that makes it work very good for the longest possible period of time. Okay, how do we explain this? This could be compared to a person who is like building houses all day and they're being built very quickly. And this person keeps laying the right perfect foundation, the best one there is, every single time he builds a house. And it's just one house after the other that's just rock solid and nothing can, shake it. Okay. So you're permanently steadfast and you're permanently securely, how do we call that? Permanently almost like grounded in a way that how does this look in everyday life? It actually looks like this. One of the most important areas to always apply a certain amount of wisdom practically and manage things with wise self-discipline is actually human interactions. Because based on the very fact that everything in life has a life cycle with a definite point of beginning, and then based on whenever the life cycle of a particular thing began, it's already shaped and it's formed in a certain way that will define the quality and the nature of it basically forever till it sort of ends or transitions into another thing. Most of this is within a 144-year human earthly lifespan, okay? So human interactions, now they can be managed in a way that make them good. And it doesn't matter who it is or what it is, if your human interactions are managed with prudence, and even particularly the beginning points, or so if you coordinate the beginnings of the life cycles of your acquaintances and interactions with other humans, what happens is that if you coordinate them perpetuously, you simply have like perpetuous or good interactions with people permanently. And as I said earlier, it's about 144 years worth of this that is most relevant to each and every one of us, right? Because, that's about the human lifespan right there. So what I'm saying is that if you continuously apply a certain amount of prudence in everyday life and how you interact with other humans, for example. What happens is that you're constantly creating situations in life. Moreover, to be more precise, what you're actually doing is you're going and you're managing the creation of the life cycles and the quality that results from the acquaintances that you make in life. Now, part of this is the following. The most important thing to comprehend is that there's 7 different daily periods of the cycles of life. And in every one of these 7 ones, where there are 7 a day and then 7 days makes a strong, there's actually certain ones that are very good for making new acquaintances. And at this exact same time, there are others that are not so good, and some that is not good at all. Knowing the difference between this, in other words, coordinating your activities in life, particularly your interactions with other human beings, and when they initially begin, right? That ability is almost sufficient to make your life be prosperous permanently, simply because of the fact that you are, like I said, constantly coordinating things with a little bit of order that is sufficient so that everything is ordered right permanently, generally speaking. What is this known as? It's part of self-mastery, and it's actually easy. It's not difficult. I'll explain how this works in a nutshell. Say you go to apply for a new employment, or a business venture or something. So you go to the place at the most opportune time to begin the life cycle of the acquaintance with the humans. And then you manage things as you manage all things, with wisdom and prudence a little bit, and the rewards are massive, and that's how it goes. And it's fun. It's very fun.